This message is being translated into over 44,000 languages and transmitted by our network of satellite relays. You will all bear witness to the massacre of all crew and passengers of the USS Intrepid immediately after negotiations with planet Earth break down. You do not want to miss this display of Vorax injustice, live and unedited, from your local subspace communications affiliate.
Why did you do attack us? This is a colony ship. We came in peace.
And you were foolish to have done so. You, Captain Bourdain, and your crew are now bargaining chips to be used in negotiating with Astroforce and your government. Should your government not surrender its colonies along the Voracian border, you will all be killed. Your deaths will be broadcast on subspace radio, where citizens of 1,000 worlds will see what happens to those who illegally enter our space.
Your forces attacked my ship and tried to bring us down here.
Yes, and your ship's remains will be put on display to inspire Vorax's next generation of warriors to believe that the known galaxy is ours to take.
Your planet is ecologically unstable. You plundered its resources and poisoned it with rampant industry. Instead of holding us hostage, why not let us show you how we healed our own Earth over 3 centuries ago? This does not have to end with bloodshed on either side.
A clever ploy, but ugly as we Voracians are, we are accustomed to being lied to by those who think us gullible. No, your government will be contacted. They will refuse our demands, and you will be murdered, beginning with the children and ending with you, Captain.
Your orders, Captain?
You've likely deduced that the Intrepid is going nowhere. If this is our last stand, then get to the nearest arms room and draw your weapons. When they come for us, we'll take some of their number with us.
Aye, Captain. And might I ask where I might find you later?
At the child care center. One of those children that bastard wants to kill is mine.
Attention on deck!
As you were, Cadet. Amazing, isn't it? My ship gets ambushed in space. We get tractor beamed and thrown down on a hostile planet, and this guy is the only one of us left standing.
He's the Outworlder, Captain. You can't knock him down.
That's right, Warren. You don't knock down the Outworlder. Now how are all of you doing?
Captain, not to question how you run the Intrepid, but do you think it wise to be so honest with the children?
I won't lie to my child or anyone else's just to give them a false sense of security. We're all expected to be honest in the Astroforce, aren't we, children?
Yes, Captain.
Seems that some of you are afraid. After what we've been through, being afraid is perfectly normal, but letting fear weaken us is not acceptable.
The Voracians rebroadcast your discussion with him all over the ship. Everyone knows we're hostages.
Crafty little bullies, aren't they?
Are they gonna kill us?
They've tried it already and none of us are dead. So you leave them to the adults. You don't think the Outworlder would be afraid of the Voracians, do you?
No?
That's right, but there was a time when even the Outworlder was up against incredible odds. A sun was going nova, a planet with billions of people would be destroyed, and he alone could not save the planet without killing everyone on it.
Is this a true story?
Is it a true story?
It certainly is. It was written by Captain Ethan Ricks of the Yorktown, who was among the first humans ever to actually meet the Outworlder.
Wow. Mom, did you ever meet the Outworlder?
Not yet. Would you like to hear the story?
Yeah.
Okay, you've all heard about the planet Mirador, correct?
Mirador orbits Jupiter, and Astroforce ships have limited contact with Mirador because they don't want to cause a culture shock.
Very good, Warren, but Mirador was not always part of the Sol system. Many years ago, it was in a system countless light years from Earth. Its population was healing after the devastating effects of the war against the Verasans, a war fought with psychokinetic, telekinetic and pyrokinetic minds. All of those angry, destructive thoughts went rampant among the surviving population, causing odd mutations in some. And this is the story of how one of them met the Outworlder.
Are there any among you needing medical attention?
No one was hurt, but the buildings were shaken by we don't know what.
No one goes back into those buildings until city engineers have inspected them. You will all be moved to temporary shelters. The city will do what it can to get your lives back to normal.
We appreciate that, Defender. But what caused this? It was like this whole part of town just hiccuped.
First priority is getting all of you safely out of the affected areas. Stay together in your group. I have to see how your neighbors are faring.
Is everyone safe out there? Because I'm not doing so well in here.
Stay where you are, citizen. I will come to you.
What is happening to me?
I am Baroque. What is your name, citizen?
Devah.
Devah, have you any children in your residence?
No man wants a barren wife during a post-war baby boom. You did not notice the black belts?
The radiation from those Verasan weapons caused damage to both genders. It could take a century to repopulate all who are lost.
Myself and 7 other women lost our fertility. Another way.
Oh, my sympathies, Devah. I have no words.
I do not need men's words. What is happening? How much did the Verasans change me?
I don't know. I saw pictures of school children in your study on the walls. Devah, I'm going to help you down from here. Now tell me, what was the last thing you remember before all of this happened?
I got home from work. I took a nap. And when I woke up, everything was different.
Very good. Emergency vehicles have landed at the intersection below. We're going to get you to a hospital for care.
Tell me what happened to me.
I do not know.
Curious. I'm not reading any life signs. Confirmed. No pulse. Heat readings are below normal. Citizen, are you feeling any ill effects? Any dizziness, nausea? I don't know what I'm feeling. I don't know why I'm feeling it. We're taking you to City General. There are specialists there that can try to help you. Why is this happening to me? That's what we all want to know. This does not look like an Outworlder attack. Of course it does, Captain. Everything's demolished. Outworlder attacks like a surgeon. He does minimal damage to the infrastructure because he thinks someone more civil might need it later. I didn't know you analyzed his work so thoroughly. I did my thesis on him at the Academy. Aliens have been relating stories about this man in hundreds of languages since before we broke the time barrier. Gets around, doesn't he? Strange when you look at it. No blast points, no signs of laser or projectile fire. It's like the area's quake damaged. Hey, now you're catching on. If what the Talasian said was right, and Outworlder is here, he's doing the same thing we are doing. He's gathering pieces of the puzzle to see who or what did this. Do you think he thinks like we do? No. I like that about him. Captain, sir, that's him up there. Mom! Dad! It's the Outworlder! Magnificent. Ah, there goes our insurance premiums. He's no harm, people. His radiation count is low and his 0-point reactor is not intaking energy at a rapid level. I'm assuming that is what you use to propel yourself, sir. Captain Ethan Ricks. I read your report on parallel planet development. Direct, succinct. Mr. Outworlder, have you any idea what caused this devastation? A quake, perhaps? Look around you. What happened here is too focused on the harbor alone. Beyond the waterfront, there is little to no damage. And the quake would have caused more widespread damage. Precisely. I am reading traces of extreme electrochemical and telekinetic activity. Someone did this. I would conjecture a psionic attack. You conjecture that someone did all of this with their mind. 300 years ago, studies in remote sensing were done on your own Earth by scientists backed by intelligence agencies. You are quite the learned historian. But do you sense any such malevolence here? I sense disorientation and confusion more than malevolence. Then it might be unwise to stand here and wait for it to happen again. I have tracked peculiar disruptions in space for the last few days. The sooner we isolate the cause of these disruptions, the sooner they can be stopped. Flawlessly logical. Where to? The appearance of each disruption appears random. I have decided to visit each habitable planet and scan for familiar psionic frequencies. Exactly what I would do. That is, highlight your abilities. If you will excuse me now, Captain. So what do we do now, Captain? We get back to the ship and program a flight of marker buoys. Once we've deployed them, other ships will be able to hear their warning to stay out of this hazardous space. I wish I had the chance to ask him what he's going to do. He's going to do the impossible. Devah, you just became an integral part of an ongoing investigation. Over the last few days, locations all over the globe have experienced similar explosive events, like the one in your neighborhood. You just never found anyone else glowing in the dark, is that it? Glowing in broad daylight, yes, that is correct. Study those photos. Have you ever been to any of those locations? Perhaps on a vacation or traveling on business?
Mr. Van Cleef, I work at an art supply store. I never get to travel overseas anymore as much as I would like to.
I saw in your employment record that you previously taught adolescents at Growth Complex 4. Very good school.
The Board of Education got nervous when I kept falling on the floor and trembling and didn't remember it. They frown on that.
So you lost that job and went to working in the art supply store. As I see it, that is the school's loss.
I appreciate your politeness, Agent Van Cleef. But none of the doctors in here will tell me what they found after all those scans they did on me. What can you tell me?
I appreciate your understanding my position. It is common knowledge that the average Miradorian uses perhaps 15% of their brain's potential. We mapped your brain activity, Devah, and you are using 68%. The reason you lost consciousness in school was because your brain was evolving over thousands of minutes, not thousands of years. Your conscious mind was overwhelmed by all of the increased electrochemical activity.
Then I'm one of them. One of those veterans with abilities that I cannot turn off and that society's afraid of. I am not a walking bomb.
No, you're not. Neither are your friends, but you, all of you, are the next step in evolution. And had we known about your situation earlier, chances are you'd still be teaching at Growth Complex 4. I read that you scheduled more field trips than any other teacher on record.
Don't you remember how much you enjoyed visiting real scientists working at real labs when you were 15 years younger?
I do. It was my science teacher that led me to government service. He said I have a very objective eye and did not interfere with the subject of the experiment.
Is that what I am now? The subject of an experiment? You think that every time I fall asleep some neighborhood gets shaken to its foundation?
We only have 5 photographs from 5 locations over the last few days. I am certain that you have been to sleep more often than that. Therefore, you did not cause cataclysms each time you slept.
Does it matter that I do not remember causing any of this damage?
You do remember what damage your telekinetic abilities caused during the last war, don't you? Dr. Norris is studying your brainwaves while you are awake and alert. We need to compare those to how different they are when you are asleep.
Are you certain that is a good idea? I could fall asleep and wake up under another pile of rubble.
We need to know at what stage of sleep the disruption happens. For that, we have to run a controlled experiment. From this room, if anything happens, you'd be awakened. At this time, I can only suspect something violent is happening in your subconscious.
You're a lot more than just government muscle, aren't you?
One of my areas of expertise is in combat-related mental disorders. After the last war, I spent 3 years studying military personnel who witnessed combat and were unable to process their memories.
Are you expecting me to believe that what is happening is because of a submerged memory from the war? Or because my brain is triggered by stimuli that I don't know anything about? Or because I'm mutating?
I was trained to consider many possibilities. Another possibility is more remote, but brain scans will detail more to us later.
Supposing what is happening to me is a mutation, accelerated evolution, what am I turning into?
I won't lie to you, Devah, but I have read reports in the past few years about people exhibiting abnormal physical growth and mental ability. What you could be the awakening of a section of the evolving brain that will yield any number of possibilities.
Agent Van Cleef, the last war turned many people into vegetables on both sides. Did the government consider that before they started a psychic warrior program? Or did they just find that out too late?
What both sides failed to take into account was the mental radiation flung out by psychic warriors like yourself. All of your minds releasing floods of physically and emotionally damaging discharges could have an unintended effect on people like you. We are still collecting data on the damage caused by the last war. My being here with you is part of that collection of data.
You're not going to lock me away in a steel box where air comes in through vents and food comes in through hatches and I never see another person again. Shutting away a psychic warrior in your condition from contact with others has been found to be detrimental. One of the most dangerous phenomena is the person who collapses in on themselves. Sure, you need to keep an eye on me now. Am I going to spend the rest of my life under scrutiny? Devah, this is a time of healing for all of Mirador. As soon as we can deduce what the link is between you and those quakes, we will design a cure and get you back to your normal life. I can imagine your coworkers will be very concerned about you when they arrive at the store and you are not there. To think my life would get dumped upside down just by taking a nap. What will happen next time? That is why you are here this time. You will not go through this alone. Now, do try to relax. Wait! There's no music in here! Do you realize that silence is not a safe promise for a wounded mind? I guess not. There isn't even a wind chime in here. Captain, we're in a 120-mile orbital perigee.
Communications. Status on those buoys?
Missiles recorded, Captain. Ready to launch.
Launch buoys at 4,000 nautical miles distant from one another.
Launching first buoy now.
To anyone approaching Oregonda 2, this is a warning. The planet has undergone attack by forces unknown and is currently under investigation by Astroforce. Divert course immediately.
Second buoy deployed. Captain, I'm reading peculiar disturbances in the fabric of space. Originating from where?
Devah, we are cut off. My radio was destroyed. Their sonic waves are throwing up static that radios cannot transmit through. They are advancing in two-person teams to capture women and youths. No, they're trying to kill us. Stellan is a shadow pattern on the side of a building, and Lehman's head exploded. Ajax, we're all that's left. Devah, listen. The Vorasins are capturing childbearing age females and children. You have to fall back to the bunker and regroup. Ajax, I just came from the bunker. They flattened it. There's no place to fall back to. They have a noose around the entire city and they're closing inward on us. I know your mind is tired. Grab a fallen rifle, pistol, blade, anything. I will hold them off as long as I can but you cannot be taken alive. Run! Ajax, you've lost too much blood to fight. I cannot leave you here. Devah, you know what can happen if they take you. Even if they do not kill you, they'll ruin everything you are. If they want to devour us, we'll make them choke. Must you always get in the last word? Yes!
Mayday. Mayday. This is Astro Force Carrier, Yorktown, Arganda system. Systems going negative. Severe damage. Captain and command crew injured. Oxygen depletion. Life support systems failing. Cool. It's cold. Norris Galakovich, give us a hand with this beam. Life support systems 1 moment from failure.
Oh, that's it, Abbott. We're dead. He's come to take us to the other side. Don't you read hyperspace comics, Lou? He's a good Joe. He's the Outworlder. Apologies for being late. You have 3 cracked ribs, and you're suffering from hypothermia and shock.
You really him?
Nobody else wanted to be. Now do sit up straight, Kath.
How do you know my name?
He's a telepath. He's picking through our heads right now and looking for what we saw. He'll find who did this. You need some rest, but your ribs are healed.
Captain Rix is among the wounded in sickbay. The Yorktown is a dead hulk and I don't know what hit us. As first officer, my place is on the bridge, sir.
I will go below and restore your engines and life support systems. Hey, now you're talking like a hero. I am no hero, sir. Just a man with a job to do. Wow. Where do I tell my kids? We met the Outworlder. In the flesh.
Whatever he is, it isn't flesh. Too bad. He's a good-looking fellow. Smells like a Radio Shack though.
Never seen engine designs like this. On Earth, the matter-antimatter conversion engine is a state-of-the-art. But this...
Wait till you see what he did to the navigational deflectors and the inertial dampeners. We won't be able to make technology like this for another 500 years.
Imagine what we could learn from this Outworlder.
What we witnessed tonight fits his legend. He can feed 1,000 where one was fed before. He can move to all points of creation. And he asks for nothing in return.
He's a man, not a monument. I just wish he would stand still and talk with us. Imagine all the marvels he's seen in his travels. Chief, I left a complete set of technical manuals in your office computer. Amazing. I don't know how to thank you. You will come across a people in need. Do what you can for them. That we will, sir. Consider that gratitude enough.
Mr. Outworlder, do you have a name?
My parents called me William.
We will never forget you, William.
Warp speed, Catherine.
She is coming out of REM sleep now. Everything appears normal. We will not know everything is normal till we get reports of unexplained damage. Ajax, do you know what she is dreaming about? Dreams happen very quickly, Agent. By the time I interpret her thinking, she's already moving on to something else, someplace else. She was taken by the Verasans. Hundreds of women and children were. The Verasans did medical and cross-species experiments on 8 female prisoners, Devah included. But what images do you see? Only flickers of memory from a city we fought in once. I am only conjecturing, but she could be experiencing survivor's guilt. But did she dream about her own neighborhood when she damaged it? Does any place she dream of become a target of her psychokinetic assault? And why does she not remember? Her memory might not know how to record or process what she's experiencing. The destruction was caused by some level of her subconscious. To my knowledge, those affected, those mutated by psychic radiation, were more aware of what was happening to them. And that awareness allowed them to learn to control what was happening to them. Devah's predicament might be something even we, psychic warriors, have no experience with. During dream state, her subconscious triggers her entire array of psionic weapons. If she became a larger scale threat, how far is your community willing to go? Decades ago, the community would have arranged for her demise. But that will not be my recommendation. There is much we can learn from each mutation. Wasting a life is not a preferred option. I'd have thought that if anyone would drop the hammer on her, it'd be you. That was war, Agent. The war is over, and I'm done bursting a person's blood vessels. She, like me, like the authors, are the next step in evolution. To kill any of them is to stagnate development of our species. She's in REM sleep again. Respiration and brain waves are increasing. They're off the scale. Gentlemen, be ready for anything.
Solar flares have burned off Sarpedon and Mercure. Now we're near the collapse of the sun.
Radiation count.
Radiation is rising to toxic levels. We won't be safe here, sir.
You have seen extraterrestrials before. You are expecting a cataclysm. Only the Verasans. We defeated them with horrific expense. And you know that your sun is collapsing. What do you know about it? You have done good service. There is nothing more you can do up here. Evacuate to Mirador at once. If what I have in mind works, you will shortly be on the move. Wait. Who are you? You will come to know me as the Outworlder. Now hear this. Abandon the station. All ship crews are to disembark immediately. All station personnel, move to your assigned escape pods and jettison. We're going home.
Oh, what have I done this time?
Nothing that we cannot fix.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
I am William, and you are my mission.
Whoever you are, you picked a lousy day to make first contact.
If you are finished lamenting, we have work to do.
Work! I dreamt I was freezing to death. I wanted to be warm. I think I released a psionic burst inside the sun.
You did. Your sun is collapsing, and in minutes, the Bengala system will be incinerated. But I have a plan for Mirador and for you.
Plan for what?
I considered moving your planet out of the solar system on my own, but my sun velocity would pulverize every life on it, including yours.
Of all the extraterrestrials to meet, I get the one with the God complex?
Though I have protected religious freedom, I am not a religious man. Now do pay attention. When you draft around me and return to Mirador ahead of me, you will execute rapid orbits around the planet that will form a protective, inertial, dampening field. I will orbit a moment later at a further perigee and pull Mirador out of where it is now.
I am so delirious right now that you are starting to make sense.
In effect, you prevent my sudden acceleration from harming your people while I move Mirador to another star system.
If I can even believe you, you're saying that I will save the people and you will save the planet.
I appreciate your intellect.
And how am I gonna do all these things you say I'm gonna do?
I was mortal once. Just like you, I retain knowledge of the process. It may be as I am now. I can do the same for you.
It cannot hurt any worse than this.
Yes, it will. Take this ride with me and we make this right.
Let's go out with a bang.
Transmute.
Impossible. She knows him?
Attention citizens, please move in an orderly fashion to your civil defense shelters. You will be advised when the danger has passed. Thank you for your cooperation. Activate Project Heaven's Thunder.
What am I becoming? Will I still remember all that I was? Will I still recognize myself? Who will I be now? I can sense so much more. I feel so much more. I can see his thoughts in my head. He's giving me navigational coordinates in 5 dimensions. And I understand him. I can see his travels. Every planet he's been to in 324 years. Every person he's ever known. Everyone and everything he had to leave behind. He's sharing every memory with me. And I can hear his thoughts now.
I fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. The most crucial tool a Crusader needs is the reason to be out here.
I do this because an oath of service spoken in one lifetime echoes into the next.
We are 74,326,274.6 miles from Mirador. When the sun goes nova, the detonation will travel faster than warp factor 8 and emit lumens of brightness never seen before. And we do not need sunglasses.
Hit it!
I know something happened to her, Stoffa. A mother knows.
At least she won't suffer, Teresa. It won't be long now.
Stop. If the sun explodes, do we get burned up or do we slowly freeze?
We will know in 8 minutes.
Stoffa, what is happening?
Shockwaves!
I'm Ramadan!
General Tyrell, if these readings are to be believed, Mirador is moving at thousands of times the speed of light.
Major, turn around and look out the windows.
Where are we? It happened so fast.
My old neighborhood, the Sol system. We put Mirador in orbit around Jupiter, where Io was before it detonated from overmining. This will stabilize Earth's orbit in time.
My parents are very confused.
Your people will need the situation explained to them.
You always put the mission first.
For me, there is nothing else.
There is now, Shotzi.
I want to assure the public that the military community is maintaining a watchful eye for potential threats. We are picking up radio and video signals from what we believe to be a nearby planet that is inhabited.
You are not alone up here. Who else is out there? Presence.
I share your concerns, people. I saw our space station destroyed by the sun going nova. I saw screens go blank as our satellites were also destroyed. We have high-altitude aircraft launching now to surveil the stratosphere and give us eyes on whatever or whoever might be out there. Then we will take whatever steps necessary and possible. Dr. Seatol has been in contact with various observatories and will shed more light on the situation. Thank you, General. Citizens,
what I have to tell you is difficult to explain. Understand that we are no longer in the Bengala system. There is no scientific explanation except to say that somehow Mirador was moved into another system whose star groups we do not recognize. It is a system of 9 planets, and we are now in orbit around a tremendously large planet that has other smaller planets, smaller even than Mirador, in its orbit.
But who? What? Can move us? What is responsible for this? Are they a threat?
We can answer that.
What? Where did it come from?
You have nothing to fear from us.
William, it might have been a better idea to speak to the council members alone. Visible to the public, we're causing a culture shock.
They are choosing to panic.
But what can you tell them that they will understand?
Devah, these are your people. Take them to school.
Over the past years, you've read stories about changes and mutations caused by fallout from the psychic war. We all found out too late how strong a thing, how disruptive a thing the mind can become. My name is Devah, and I am also a mutation. My mutation caused growths in my brain that were triggered by my subconscious during deep sleep. When I slept, I jumped to faraway places. And not knowing it, my mind did quake damage to some of those places, including my own neighborhood. My last dream caused a detonation in the core of the sun, and we'd all be dead had William not found us.
Were you an alien moving among us in our form? Deceiving us?
No. Until moments ago, I looked like this.
She is an alien who can take our form. She is spying on us.
Apex, do let her speak. Go ahead, Devah.
Thank you, General Sir. I was at the sleep disorders wing of a hospital undergoing treatment when I unknowingly damaged the core of the sun with a psionic burst. William arrived with a plan to save Mirador. He took me out into space and within the sun itself. He performed the process on me that let me help him save all of you.
Devah, can you tell me what this plan entailed?
Of course, Dr. Seatel. William explained it to me very quickly. Had he tried to move Mirador by himself, his extreme inertia would have pulverized all of you. He needed another like himself. He needed me. I would arrive ahead of him, envelop Mirador in an inertial dampening field, and he would move the planet through light years of space and place it here in the solar system.
That explains why we do not recognize any of the star formations. Incredible!
You should understand that William and I are unlike any life form in the known galaxy. We are living energy. We can assume any form, manipulate any form of matter, calculate 5-dimensional navigation within our minds, and travel at speeds beyond your comprehension. William is teaching me to control my new abilities, so if any of you are feeling suddenly fatigued, I am terribly sorry. I'm also very hungry after the long trip.
Do you come to Mirador as conquerors? Are there more like you?
There are only the two of us. You should understand that you are no longer alone in the universe. There are people not too different from you on the planet Earth. More technologically evolved, but not too different. In time, they will make first contact with you. William and I did not want to cause a culture shock by appearing like this.
Then why did you appear to us at all? To intimidate us?
Never. We did not want you jumping to conclusions or suspecting one another of wrongdoing. William's intent might make you nervous this moment, but in time you'll see that it was best to be honest with all of you.
But what do we do now? In alien space? Will our way of life be thrown upside down? Will these Earth people take away our liberty?
No. But you will have many more questions to consider now that Mirador is part of a galactic community. I think as a people, we have much to offer. But at the same time, we have growing to do. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some repairs to make.
Repairs? Then you did do damage.
I jumped about my neighborhood, and when I awakened, it had suffered quake damage. My neighbors are in a shelter now. I'm going back there, to harbor, to rebuild it, better than it ever was, to give them all a better home. And anyone wanting to see something beautiful, follow us if you can.
This is a time of healing for you. Understand that there is no right or wrong way. There is only your way.
Come on, William. Let's go downtown. Matter, energy, thought, all the same.
Central, you're not going to believe this. That woman who was just on Holovision is restoring Harbor Drive.
I am inside of your mind, and still I only begin to understand you. The Outworld does not do all of this because it needs doing, or because you're the only one who can do it. You actually enjoy doing all of this.
Once you purge your conflict with the Vorasans, you will allow yourself the same.
Until then, I have to ask, do you have a proper evening formal suit?
I have a regulation United States Marine Corps officer's uniform.
Good. Because I don't want you meeting my parents wearing the same suit you burned down despots in. Mom, Dad, I know this is very sudden. You said when I was 12 that you wanted to meet any boy I was walking with. And I know I didn't bring home many boys. They were good boys. What I came here to say is, I want to trade vows this night with Captain William Conrad Hauser, United States Marine Corps, Squadron Zero. The Cosmos knows him as the Outworlder. You have not many medals on that uniform, have you, Captain?
Sir, they do not give medals for the kind of work that I do.
Understood, Mr. Outworlder. I am certain you realize that our daughter can be a handful.
Stoffer, what he means, William, is that our girl has always had good sense in who she walks with. It's just that.
It's just that Teresa and I saw you both on television, just like our neighbors did. We know Devah has been going through sudden
changes, and if what she thinks she needs is you,
then we both stand ready, along with our esteemed neighbors, to hear your vows. Gratitudes to you both. I take you, William, as you are, with all you are and all you are not, with no regret.
I take you, Devah, forsaking all others, for all of our yesterdays and tomorrows, and maybe a few nights beyond that.
Well, congratulations. You're stuck with each other.
Welcome to the family.
And they really are married?
They were married on the 10th of December of 2312, 324 years to the day that the Outworlder saved Earth from the Netruscans. First contact day.
Is anyone coming for us?
Astral Force and the Verasan government are entering into negotiations.
And if those negotiations break down?
I have every reason to suspect they will. The Verasans can only be reasoned with when you have the upper hand, but we do not. They will exploit our weaknesses.
You sound like you're giving up.
I am not given to false hopes, and I already told the crew to arm themselves and prepare for the worst.
Captain Bourdain, they're coming through the forest now.
Seal the door behind me.
Attention, crew of the Intrepid, attention. Negotiations with your government have broken down. To show them the error of their ways, we will board your ship. Feel free to fight for your lives. We would be bored if you did not.
Edward, darling, cue my battle music.
Transmute. I'm going downrange. I could pop their organs with a telekinetic mind burst. I could incinerate them with only a stare. I could freeze or burn them with my breath. I can atomize them with a pulsar burst. But tonight, I just want to get my hands dirty on the parasites who threaten to murder a shipload of children and parents. In case any of you naughty boys wonder why women in superhero comic books wear spike heels, this is why. This is my interpretation of a good hair day. Don't you poor idiots know that all that blast of fire is just nourishing you? Some guys just spill their guts all over me. You just lie down there and bleed out. I'm going upstairs to throw down some real pain. Which one of you little gremlins knows the way to the bridge? I do. Gratitude, Warren Zevalos.
It's really her, isn't it?
Bigger than life.
Good morning, Captain Fontaine. I trust you're prepared to depart?
The Intrepid is hardly space-worthy anymore.
Well, don't get to work on that.
Captain, I'm reading matter-antimatter convergence on the flow sensors. The engines are functional.
Mike, if you happen to see a blur whisking by, don't get in her way. She's our ticket off this planet.
But if she's here, where is the Outworlder?
was not enough that you subjugated your own people, that you plundered your own resources, that you polluted your own planet. Silly parasite. You want every planet to end up just like Varesa. You don't get it, do you, hero? This planet was ruled by a system of petty feudal lords, little bugs, all battling over who was going to scratch the dog. Now the bugs are long gone, and I'm the only one doing the scratching now. The last parasite on Varesa. I got Varesa working again. I got the trains running on time, and a war machine second to none. Your war machine is only so much subatomic debris floating in space. Impossible! You destroyed 6 fleets of my warships? I only destroyed 3 of them. My wife got the other 3. So it's true. You got yourself a wench. So why isn't she here now? Because despots are not a delicacy for Devah. You don't know why I did it, do you, hero? But of course I do. You had a large population of uneducated people. There is not enough work for them on Varesa. So you put them in uniforms and sent them to other worlds to die stealing resources for you. Hey, you understand? Now I like that. Finally, someone who gets me. Governments do not fight governments. Governments fight the useless, the uneducated, the low-skilled morons who are a drain on resources. We send them to war to cull the herd. This government is over. Are you going to kill me, hero? There can be no order in the Varesen Empire without me, and you bloody know it! You let me know if this hurts. I will be remembered! I do enjoy the taste of despot in the evening.
The interior of the USS Intrepid will alter day by day to mirror the seasons on Earth. You will find a complete operations manual in your central computer. Keep it below warp factor 20 as you approach a solar system, because a quantum drive engine can throw out a lot of disruption. You do not want to yank a planet out of its orbit by mistake, because it takes quite a while to shove it back in. Believe me, I know.
We don't know how to thank you.
I have to go now. My husband just absorbed another supreme military dictator, and he's in a bad mood. Are those brains inside of that computer processor up there?
The dictator's information system literally uses the best minds on the planet.
So you absorbed another one.
He was an incorrigible parasite.
These people cannot be left with a war machine and no sense of what to do with it.
Oh, they will not. We are staying here to educate the population and decontaminate the planet.
You do realize that commitment could take years?
Less than a year, by my estimate.
Do you think they will listen to reason?
We have the upper hand. They will submit.
Do you plan to rule the entire planet?
I intend to repair the entire Veracin Empire and every planet they ruined.
I do love a man with a vision. Right now you're thinking so fast that you're making me dizzy. What did you learn from absorbing that dictator?
As you would expect, a large portion of resources go to their war machine. What is little known and never spoken of is where the Veracins go to select their target planets.
Your thoughts are moving terribly fast right now. You are thinking about an installation in the northern mountains where the Veracins contain their anomalies the science cannot explain.
The Veracins believe that what happens at that installation reflects on the health of this planet.
Husband, whatever is up there must be very, very sick. This is not what I expected.
Then we put aside our expectations and approach with an open mind.
I do admire your mobility. I can only wonder the places you've gone, the people you've met. You are not native to Veracin. I was born in space, native to no world. I traveled for centuries until my ship crashed in these mountains. The Veracins do what they can to sustain me.
You told them of your travels, and the Veracins found those worlds and conquered them.
The Veracins are misguided children. They created a vicious circle, traveling to other worlds to find more resources to use to conquer more worlds. And every person they enslaved, every life extinguished, is my fault. The Veracins believed that your health and the health of this planet are connected. With so much of this planet polluted, it is no surprise your health is so poor. And if I die, Veracin dies.
You will inevitably die here, sir. Slowly and in senseless agony. If the Veracins are permitted to plunder this planet and others, the same death awaits them all.
I have never been able to heal in this place. My long life, my potential, wasted, paralyzed in this place. Yet the Veracins continue to sustain me. If you prefer, we can help you end your suffering. Child, if I die, the Veracins die. Every planet they subjugated dies. Trillions, perhaps quadrillions of lives.
That need not happen. We can remain here for a time. We can teach the Verasans a better way and heal those they have injured.
You have such powers? That is our potential. Let us help you find peace. You have suffered too long. I have missed traveling. I have missed the discovery of new worlds, the foods, the music, the conversations with those alien to me.
Let me show you my travels. I departed the Sol system in 1988. Subspace communications traffic spoke of a summit of warp-driven civilizations at the center of the Milky Way galaxy. There I met numerous alien representatives and learned their ways and languages.
And it is never the same. Every race, every planet, a new challenge. It is amazing how you healed of your wounds, how you learned to live again, how you missed so many lives and left such an impression upon them all.
Have you ever flown into a nebula and just stopped? Just watch it slowly move. That is an amazing thing, to see space itself move.
I see what you have seen, as if it were my own memory. Amazing! Your life has been so wonderful.
And now, yours will be.
I see it now. Planets, moons, stars. Once again, I am a part of the all that is. We will not forget you. And no one will forget either of you. You have killed the ancient. He is dead. So we will all die.
Turn in those robes, cleric. You will be doing manual labor now.
We are clerics. We do not labor. Then you do not eat. Your practice of parasiting off your worshippers' labor is over.
Your weapons production is gone. You no longer export suffering and death.
Your mining has depleted your planet of resources. Your factories have poisoned the air, polluted your waters, and ruined your lands.
The old ways are over. From here on, you power your homes, your infrastructure, with wind and sea wave turbines. Each building will have its own solar collector and battery pack.
You speak of technologies we do not understand.
You will be instructed.
But first, we lay the ancient to rest. We never found the world he came from. We never saw any others of his kind. Perhaps he was the only one of his kind, like us.
We have his memories now, and never will he be forgotten. If his death is to have any meaning, Vorasa and every planet it damaged must heal.
Then we will spread your teachings to the engineers, the technicians, the city planners, No! I will speak to those without voice. You will toil for the rest of your lives, feeding those you starved and healing those you harmed. Husband, do you realize, with just a single thought, I could
eradicate every parasite off the face of the planet, leaving the universe no poorer.
The reason I can tolerate annoying people is because a German woman taught me to pity their pathetic existences. Otherwise, I would make Thanos look like Mickey Mouse.
Those Indian mustard plants you synthesized did well to remove metals and poisons from the soil.
Peculiar. I had to travel parsecs from Earth before developing an interest in botany and horticulture.
But I'm thinking you learned your city planning in Manhattan. Nothing explains the kosher hot dog stands every 5 blocks, and all of those theaters, libraries, art supply stores, and comic book shops.
Too many Verasans suffer from depression. I am thinking art, literature, and music will aid in healing. You cannot medicate some ailments away.
I quite agree. A radical change in architectural design and color palette can also have a positive effect on their moods.
That would explain these colors that have not been seen on Verasan in centuries. Colors that they did not even know existed in nature.
10 months repairing Verasa and every planet they damaged can take a toll, even on us. You have not even been thinking of taking a vacation.
Even when I was human, I was never adept at scheduling off-duty time.
Then you are fortunate that you have me. You have not been back to Earth in a very long time. Why don't you take me someplace fun?
I will show you where and when it all began. Ethan, I called you here because of your knowledge of the Outworlder. Like you, I read hyperspace comics when I was a kid. The Chronoton Crusader, the Eternal Knight, and for a while, that's all it was. A superhero comic. And then we come out here on the frontiers of space, and he's real. He's known on hundreds of worlds, worshipped on some worlds, feared on others. Do you know how Astroforce is looking at him? Admittedly, Admiral, I've not been back to Earth in some years. Astroforce is losing bowel control over this Outworlder question. It was bad enough when it was just one guy tear-assing around creation, dumping despots and getting into people's heads. But now he's got a bride. Have you given any thought to what happens if she starts to breed? She's living energy, just like him. She might breed by fission. Not one or two, but thousands. And Astroforce Command sees that as a problem, sir. Ethan, this Outworlder has no handler. We don't know where or when he'll go or what he'll do. We don't understand his thinking. We don't know where he is until he's already gone. He's been in Verasan space repairing damage done by their empire. I know Earth has considerable resources, but we never could have accomplished what he and Devah accomplished. Ethan, do you not see the threat he represents? No, sir, I do not.
We don't know who he is, where he comes from, or when he comes from. He could be from the future, back in our time to tamper with the flow of time itself. We know nothing about his agenda. He answers to no one. I had this debate with the Covenant at Astroforce Academy 20 years ago. But then, there was this chicken before the egg debate about what came first, the Outworlder or the comic book. Maybe it is our knowledge and perception of him that we need to examine before we question him. Astroforce is terrified by the Outworlder question, and they want a response. I need to know who I can trust, Ethan. Do we understand each other? See, there's going to be some changes, Will. With half my knee shot away, the NYPD isn't let me on the streets no more. Got a new job as a sketch artist, doing mugs and mooks, know what I mean? So they'll let you finish out your 20 drawing witness descriptions. In this city, you're going to be busy, Dad. I want to do more than finish out my 20, son. I'm going to be NYPD till I die. That's good for me. That's good for your mom. That means you're going to college. I want you to keep studying all that math, astronomy, engineering. It's going to do good for you someday. Know what I mean? Mom said you were taking the afternoon off to see a comic book publisher. I finished the first 22 pages. You gotta see this. This guy flies through space meeting alien races. He helps out those who can't help themselves. He's a good Joe. But his skin is, well, it's not really skin, really. It's kind of like electric, you know what I mean? His color is gray, so he can represent, he can be anybody. He's not limited to being white, black, brown, red, yellow, anything, you know what I mean? Is this what you've been working on in the hospital, Dad? Doctors call it art therapy. I call it adapting to hardship. See, I'm not taking all that pain medicine they tell me I should. I gotta tell you, son, that stuff turns your brains to mush, and who knows what it does to the rest of you. It's a hell of a drawing, Dad. I hope the publisher thinks so. I really hope the publisher thinks so. I got 30 stories outlined. Figure I can work on these in my off time. Make some supplemental income. Stand out from the crowd. Hey, you do that all the time, Dad. I want something I can leave behind, son. You realize there's people that just leave behind job records, medical records, bank records, marriage, divorce records. Little or nothing more. Poor bastards, huh? I was the first one in our family to go to college. I want you to be able to do even more than that. I want you to live the kind of life that I could only imagine.
You did just that, William. If only that man down there could look up here and see you now. You took this form to honor him.
I wanted you to see where it all began. Not just read my memory, but witness it.
I would like to see more of your life, William. More of where you came from. I understand that we make fast decisions. We get our hands bloody or innocent people die. And I will admit to you, I'm enjoying this now.
Give her my purse! Give her my purse, Kitty!
The nerve of that little troll. He took her last $23.87.
No crime is too small. Shall we?
I should not be surprised. My dad is a cop too.
My face! You've got my face in
remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney during questioning. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be afforded to you by the state. You are now under citizen's arrest.
Thank you both. Are you some kind of police?
No, ma'am. We are comic book characters.
Are you okay getting back home, Theora? Oh, yes, quite. Then we have to roll. Darling, you're thinking too fast again. Where are we going?
I want to show you one of the worlds that I came from.
You do notice that we do not fit in around here, even in automotive mode?
We will where we are going. Well, Mr. Largo, it would seem your plans for global domination fit a bit of a snag. Take us out of order, Mr. Sewell. Ahead. 151.
Dude, I gotta ask, what kind of fabric is this costume made from?
I'm freelancing with Media Scene doing photos of celebs and fans. You're both so tall, I have to tilt the camera to get you both in. Are you both enjoying the convention? I Croc, New York. Excuse me, ma'am, but who are you and where did you drop in from? I am Devah of the planet Mirador, wife of the Outworlder. I fight for those without voice. Hoorah, darlings.